Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Real Conversations with Sheeda and
Nikki.
And May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And for this month, we're going to cover a little bit about mental health awareness. And we also have a special guest with us today that will talk about his experience and his story with mental health. But there's a huge stigma associated with mental health. So it's really important to spread awareness as much as possible about mental health and properly educate individuals. I know that mental health may not be the most comfortable topic to discuss, but it's important to get the conversation started and let people know that they should not be afraid to get medical assistance or medical help when they need it. And there's a lot of people out there that want to support.
So with that being said, today we have a special guest that is going to share with us his experience, his story with mental health, and how he is currently managing his mental health. We want to welcome Marlon to the show.
Welcome, Marlon.
Yes.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. So just to give the listeners a little background, me and Marlon have been friends for 10 years, maybe about 10 years.
I think it's been more than that.
Okay. So a little bit more than 10 years. We kind of fell out of touch and then we reconnected. And when we reconnected, it was just like we kind of picked up old times again.
Yeah.
And he shared with me his story of his mental health. And he was stating that it's very important that people know the struggles of mental health, and I think that's very important, especially in the African American community. So when he said that he wouldn't mind sharing his story, I think that this was a great opportunity to get him on the show, especially during the month of May, since that is Mental Health Awareness Month. So with that being said, Marlon, do you want to let everybody kind of know just your story?
Man, okay. Honestly, like when I first kind of had my first real big mental health, okay, what's going on? It was like 2013, and apparently I think I've always kind of dealt with depression and anxiety and PTSD to a certain extent. In 2013, man, it just kind of hit me. And you're having these feelings that, you're not sad, but you're feeling like all types of, different ways or whatever. And it took a lot of guts for me to say, you know what, let me go get some help. And I was so numb, when it happened. I woke up, I think I was supposed to be at work. Mm-hmm. And I didn't care about work. And it was ironic because I went to the place that I worked at for help. So everybody seeing me, hey, Marlon, what's going on? In my mind, I'm seeing nothing. I'm blanked out. Just get me some help, please. I know my insurance is good for it. Please help me.
Yeah.
And I went to the emergency room. They treated me kind of like a hospital.
So what was the experience you were feeling?
It was the whole the suicide, they call it suicidal ideation.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm I don't want to really kill myself, but I'm having these thoughts now. You might can slip up. Hey, let's say you might start drinking a little bit too much, or you might do whatever you do. That stuff amplifies depression and anxiety and stuff like that. The triggers are incredible, but when you don't know what they are and what's going on, you're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
You'll keep drinking and keep and so for me, I said, yeah, let me go ahead and try to figure this out, because I always felt like that. I want to say most of my life and not even knowing it.
Wow.
And the stigma of talking about hey, I feel like this, or how Black people are. I'll go drink some water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go get some ginger ale, settle your stomach down. I ain't talking about my stomach. I'm talking about something that I can't explain.
Yeah.
And I think the frustration with, after my first real ordeal, really getting help, And I realized something like, man, we got a problem because we can't even talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Most people look at you like, yeah, dog, it's gonna be all right. Like, no, like it's not gonna be all right. Like, you know, I'm kind of, you know, going through a lot. And when you finally put two and two together, like I say, like this is a lifelong thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when everything started to crumble down, it's like, okay, wow, it's been like this whole time. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was called. I didn't know if I can get help for it. And you slowly but surely start to like, you know, number one, again, you got to have some guts to go and get help.
Yeah. It takes
You got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
I mean, like you are vulnerable. You are just at a raw nerve at that point when you know, going through those types of emotions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to go through that. You look at your friends and family, and you can't get mad at them for not understanding what you're going through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it took a while for me to get rid of the resentment that I kind of had for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I was pissed. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you would have saw me at my lowest point, you knew something was wrong with me. You could look at me and tell, like, yeah, Marlon ain't right.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And then for the people who kind of was like, well,
Yeah.
whatever, that shit hurt.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because you really looking for like people just to, you don't even have to go through it yourself, but at least if you care enough to ask questions, hey, what's going on? And that it wasn't happening like that. And
have much of a support system, like when you did really discover I'm having suicidal ideations, I need to take this and this step. Did you have a support system at the beginning?
I can't say that I did. I think that's what made it harder.
Right.
You know, God bless our elders, but like they never talked about the stuff they went through internally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it's almost like a myth. You know what I'm saying? Like it might have happened to grandma, but you know, we'll never know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true.
And that's sad because, you know, the conditions and the, you know, how people looked upon, you know, I don't even think it was a mental health conversation back in them days. So they just called you crazy.
Right, right. Or if something was happening, they were taught to keep it in the house.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Go outside the house and talk about it with anyone else or get help.
Yeah.
Or seek resources because you were taught not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like everybody's ignorant on something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We all ignorant
to
something.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you try to like, especially with like, you know, mental health, like, man, like when you try to talk to somebody about that, number one, you got to trust them to listen.
Yeah.
You don't have to say nothing back.
Yeah.
I just need to get it out.
Exactly.
Crazy enough, it can save somebody's life just because you listen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Exactly.
And, you know, so I've been through, you know, like the ups and the downs of that stuff. And, it got to be told. These stories got to be told, man. Like, you know, through the medication, through the therapist, I mean, that shit saved my life.
Yeah. So how long after you seeked help did you start going to therapy?
Oh man, I think I was in therapy within 2 weeks. When I was in the emergency room, I had to kind of wait around. They kind of isolated me or whatever. And it was maybe 3 or 4 people that came into my room, and come to find out, one of the women, she was going to be my therapist.
Oh, okay.
Didn't know it. So when I saw her again, I said, hey, you know, how you doing? You know, blah, blah, blah. And she was really good. You know, just trying to like establish the basics of what I was going through. And number 2, trying to see if I was good enough to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And I am, because I mean, it's in my personality. I talk about anything, but like with that, I said, yeah, sure, let's go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever that was going on, I got it out.
Yeah.
I got it out. I mean, it probably felt like a dam was breaking or something. It was a lot of, you know what I'm saying? I know she heard a lot. You know what I'm saying? Then She wound up leaving for another job on the East Coast, and I had got another one.
Okay.
And she was nice, and she was just like, just let me have it. And with all that being said, I got a lot of tools to kind of cope with my everyday thing, because mental health is every day. So, I don't care if it's like the little small, I don't even know, like, you might be dealing with a little something, but then, it's a lot of people that's dealing with like that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't even no way to, describe it. It's that, like, as a 100% functioning person, and I got all my faculties and stuff like that, you feel good, but for whatever reason, when you wake up in the morning, you just dump that shit on you already. It's already in there.
Yeah.
So when you wake up every morning, it's like you praying for a good day, but it's almost like it's like another level. Like, you pray for good days anyway.
Yeah.
But please, like, let this stay at ease.
Yeah.
Because it's a big difference between life stresses and mental health.
Yeah.
Can you describe the difference between the two? Because I think that's very powerful what you just said. The difference between life stress and mental.
Yeah, so like, let's say, okay, I use something as serious as like relationship. Okay, you break up. Okay, you're sad, you're emotional because you broke up with somebody that you probably really loved, and now your feelings are hurt. You feel like you're crying over that shit.
Right.
That's life stuff. Now, when you don't have a root to the problem, now you got this whole thing in your head where it's like you feel like it's the end of the world, and you don't even know where that shit coming from.
Right.
Yeah.
That's more of a medical thing. You know what I mean? And then like when they kind of intertwine with each other, you in for a ride. You know what I'm saying? And you deal with that shit every single day. And that's that's a part of my story, but I was thankful that I was able to get help. I had the resources to get help.
Right.
And now I can see it better. I know when I get triggered. Because, me, like I say, I got depression and anxiety really bad, and my PTSD is, it'll trigger my depression when I see certain stuff, or I can smell certain stuff. I can hear, like, it's just, your senses is on fire. So it's crazy, but like I say, like, it's a lot of people that's going through and don't know what they're going through.
Right.
Can you share some of the tools that you were given by your therapist that you feel help you on a daily to deal with everyday life?
Breathe.
Breathe.
I'm talking about take deep breaths. If you got to go somewhere quiet, I don't even care. Don't nobody understand what you're going through, because you might get some type of anxiety attack, or you might just feel like fucking crying for no apparent reason. Go somewhere and just breathe, decompress. Because, I mean, not a lot of the time, 100% of the time, your mental and your physical are intertwined. So if you can just take a moment out to just breathe, you know what I'm saying, and think happy thoughts. I don't care if you do something stupid. If you feel like doing a wiggle dance or some shit, do it. It don't matter. Man, you have to do something to get your mind off of whatever just triggered you.
Right.
And, you having a whole conversation about like your self-worth.
Yeah.
Like, man, whatever you going through or whatever what just triggered you, you're better than that. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You know what I'm saying? And it's bad when you step outside every day and be like, oh, here we go with this shit. And you ain't even seen what the world had to offer to you.
Yeah. That's true.
Because for a fact somebody gonna say something.
Right.
Or you gonna see something. You know what I'm saying? And it has that ability to trigger you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So every day, like, you're working on it. You gotta try to do stuff for yourself. Like, man, go and if you want to cook a 10-course meal and it's just you, cook that shit.
Right. You got
if it make you happy, you know what I'm saying? Like if it makes you happy, man, do that shit. If you feel like, going, skydiving, man, go do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't matter at this point because life is already, it's borrowed time. We all on borrowed time.
Yeah.
And it's no fun going through this borrowed time already scared to shit. Like you can't live like that because it's not healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
And mental health, that shit will lead to physical health problems. The mind and the body are like this. So if you think you sick, yeah, you might get sick soon.
Yeah. That's true.
You know what I mean? So I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to get help.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nobody really knew I was going through shit. Like they just thought, that's same old Marlon. No, I'm dying on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Like I need some help, and you look up and you realize that it'll make you reevaluate people around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and you can love people. You can love them, but sometimes you gotta love from a distance because they're not adding anything to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going someplace or to somebody for some substance and you're just not getting it, you can love them.
Right.
But when I really need something, I ain't asking for no money. You know what I'm saying? But when you asking for a word,
yeah,
man, I mean anything like, hey, I'm sorry that's happening to you. I'm sorry you're going through that. I don't even like whether you religious or whatever, spiritual, whatever. I don't care if you, say, man, you know what? Hey, if you need something, just let me know. That ain't got to be spiritual. I don't care if it's somebody saying, man, God bless you. Hey, brother, let me pray with you right fast or something. You need that.
Yeah.
And when you don't get that, you be like, okay, like either they don't care or they just don't understand. Right. So you got to kind of weigh out which one it is from person to person.
Right.
Because some people they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like I've learned take a lighter note on everything because I'm not as angry about it no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
At first I was just fucking angry, like, okay, why is this happening to me? And blah blah blah, the whole war is me thing. And the whole 2013 thing was my first one. But for whatever reason, when I talked about the whole life thing and the mental health thing,
yeah,
I tell you, 2019, that shit took me for a ride. And
that was worse than 13?
Absolutely. Not even close.
So do you mind sharing what happened in 2019?
So 2019, I started off feeling pretty good about, how we go into like the new year, you know what I'm saying? And we like, yeah, everything's going to be fine and we going to do this and we going to do that. So I went into it feeling good about everything. So I'm going into 2019. I had just, got that new job, that I always wanted. And I'm like, man, if I can work for them, I can, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
they hit me back. I'm happy. I'm feeling good. Now you winning. You got it. You got somebody in your corner. You just got this job offer that you like, damn, everybody can't get this job off. And for whatever reason, every single detail of my life just started deteriorating. Relationship, job, friends, financials, physical, like I couldn't believe it. Like when I say, because now I'm in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like down the street from Memphis. So like I got beat down or nothing. And I remember something one day that I prayed for. I prayed for clarity. And sometimes clarity, it hurts because you see things different. And so I prayed for clarity, and that was what I was putting it up on. You know what I mean? Like the clarity. I prayed for this. So sometimes you have to embrace the destruction totally destroyed. I'm talking about I came down here with a bag, like totally down to nothing. And then my clarity journey continued when I came down here.
Yeah.
And then again, like people get mad at God, but that's God too when He breaking you down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that, like nah, don't get mad at God. Like, look, you can never appreciate the good stuff unless you go through the bad stuff.
That is so true.
Yeah.
It's impossible. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go through those crazy times that you can probably write a book on, but you gotta go through it. It's imperative that you go through it. And so I went through my clarity stage, and it went from clarity to reveal. It's nothing new, really. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, you're just trying to gather all the information that you got, all the problems that you had to go through, just everything. You use those experiences to get to someplace else.
Right.
You know, like, so, and I think I take a lot of disappointment and a lot of failure well because of the mental health aspect and my therapy. And a lot of that stuff is temporary. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, stay away from your triggers. If you know what's triggering you, stay away from that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, if somebody's, you know, talking, you know, in a way that you're not, you know, it's like, all right, your energy a little different. Let me go ahead and walk away. That's okay. I don't care if it's friends. I don't care if it's family. I don't care who it is. If they disrupt your peace and your journey, it's okay to, like I say, love them from a distance. But, you know, because your mental health it's a shame that mental health is not regarded as highly as physical health.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? I can't fucking just, you know, go to the hospital and say, man, look, I feel like fucking killing myself. They're gonna be like, man, you need to fucking call somebody else.
This step, all these different.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got a 911 hotline for your ass. Like, okay, well, like, hold on, like, I can break my arm and I can't call that hotline. Like, it's different. It's two different worlds, and it's not fair. They cutting out funding. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's less and less can be seen and really cared about. Like, everybody's going through something. Yeah. And again, it's so taboo that we don't talk about it. And,
more.
You know, even in like relationships and dating and shit like that, it runs deep when, like, you know, your mental ain't right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they always say. You know, when you get into a relationship, you should make sure that you need to make sure you're working on yourself before you add someone else into the relationship, because that'll only make things worse. You have to work on yourself.
Yeah, because if you're no good, I don't care what you delve into. Like, if you just going through whatever you're going through, I dare you, jump into a relationship, see how it works. If you ain't right.
Right. Yeah, it's not right.
Yeah, go start a new job. Your ass gonna get fired. You know what I'm saying? Or you gonna be the write-up king or queen. They gonna write your ass up till they get you out of there because you ain't right.
Yeah.
Like, no matter where you go, guess who's always there? It's you.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you ain't right, then nothing around you gonna be right. So is that whole self-love thing is very closely tied to mental health healing.
Yeah.
Like, learn how to love yourself.
Yeah.
Like, just do what you do, because again, it all rolls itself up into one thing. It's life. And we got this little time span, and we don't even know when this shit gonna end.
Yeah.
So whoever you are, whatever you gonna be, man, just be that. Be who you are. Be awkward. Be weird. Be, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the only real validation that you're gonna get, you know, out of life is through yourself.
Yeah. I think that's so true. I feel like what you're saying right now, I feel like someone is going to hear this and really take advantage of the resources that's out there and really have the courage to go and get help. Just from hearing you say that about them just being themselves and just be you, even if you're quirky or whatever, like if whatever makes you happy, as long as it's not hurting anyone else or harm to anyone else, then do it. And I don't think a lot of people hear that enough, like that support and encouragement to just be yourself, because I feel like people want to put you in a box to where you have to be this certain person, you have to look a certain way. So just you saying that, I feel like it's really going to reach people and the listeners, because we don't hear that enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think also like something that you can kind of need to probably get away from social media.
Yeah.
Like for as funny as I find these memes and shit like that, these videos, which I find hilarious, but it's more of this toxic anti-self-love thing going on social media. Like, I mean, damn, okay, either you're not cute enough, you ain't rich enough, you ain't fit enough, you ain't, you like, so it's always something telling you need to be better.
Right, exactly.
You need to change because you see this picture.
Don't look like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you see people in Cancun and Africa and taking all these pictures and they all, yay.
Right.
Don't get it twisted, man. Like, dude, they got on that trip. They was struggling to pay that damn airfare.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
behind the scenes.
Right.
Yeah, don't let these pictures and these people fool you. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? That should affect your mental health too. Everybody's not picture perfect. Nobody's perfect. The real world, we're not perfect.
Right.
Most of us are just regular people just going along about our day, and that's just fucking. It ain't nothing special behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you go on social media and you young, and here's the bad thing about it: it's people, in our generation who still, looking like, damn, look at her body, and they go to Miami and get their surgery, and then they come back looking like a pea pod.
Right.
Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, looking like a fly. It's like, yo, like, you drank that Kool-Aid, baby. Like, that's not real.
Yeah.
The young men, like I say, if we gotta have these conversations, we gotta have them. You know what I'm saying? If we gotta, make it come across in a certain way, we got to. But like, it's a very sensitive subject, man. Like,
Yeah.
And I hate the fact that we don't talk about this shit
enough.
Yeah. I totally agree. Even like when we're talking about self-image, I feel like that's something that I struggle with. I know when I was younger, I was extremely skinny. I was not happy with myself. I would take, little things over the market to try to gain weight. Then I gained weight. Now I'm not happy with that. So I still struggle with self-image. It doesn't matter at the end of the day if somebody tells me like, oh, Nikki, you look nice or you look pretty. I still struggle with making myself feel good. But now I kind of feel like I'm a little bit better with it, only because like I know that I want to lose weight for health reasons. It's not, I want to look good in my clothes and all that comes along with it. But as you're getting older, we have to really start taking care of ourselves because things can shut down more quicker. We're not in our 20s anymore. So we got to take care of ourselves. I'm trying to be here another 40, 50, 60 years. So.
Yeah, I mean, because, look, I want to be like, like, remember like on, what was it, Sesame Street, the hecklers? I want to be like the old heckling guy. Just heckle young people all day. You know what I'm saying? Because I done seen it all, and you can tell them, that ain't gonna work, young fella. That ain't gonna, young fella, no. Hey, little sister, that ain't the way. I want to be that guy. They like, man, shut your old ass up. And you like, all right, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You will learn.
Yeah. That's
You know what I'm
true.
saying? But like, it we have to do whatever it takes to kind of preserve the purity of life. Life will beat you down to a point where you think that shit is normal to not be happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the worst feeling ever. When you get something good that happened to you and you can't believe it.
Yeah.
That's how bad we are. And again, all that stuff plays a role with mental health. It's a fine line between society and losing your shit. Very fine. Because it's like I say, again, it's all intertwined. Because we are only as vibrant as our environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, talking about black people, look at the environments. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a long way to go. Like, and I ain't talking about no marching and tearing down statues and want to throw the fist. Nah, like it's an internal fight. It's an internal fight. It's a historical fight. Like, man, like we've been deprogrammed for 400 years, and it's crazy because we as a race, we intimidate every other race on this planet because of resilience.
Yeah.
And you look up and you see what's going on in the world, and they still doing the same shit to us, trying to keep us down. Now it's almost like, I bet, like, it ain't working no more.
Yeah.
Like, and the kids behind me, they wild, but they out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they not playing, so like, again, like society and mental health, it goes hand in hand. But like if you're not really worried about societal stuff and you just dealing with the mental health side, it's still, you have to create your own kind of society. You know what I'm saying? Like, deal with certain people, talk to certain people, just be, like I say, transparent.
Yeah.
It goes back to that self-love, knowing who you are.
Yeah.
And you don't owe anybody explanation of who you really are.
Yeah.
That's
And
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, like you have to really surround yourself with good people that care to understand you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when you look up and you got, 30-year friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you'll be like, damn, you know what? That they was with me when I was, you know what I'm saying? And then it makes sense. That's how life flows. That's how history get recorded. You know what I mean? Like we start to see stuff different, and all you can do is be grateful.
Yeah.
Keep praying. Like trust me, it's been many a day that I didn't think I would be here.
Yeah.
And I'm here. You know what I'm saying? You keep waking up in the morning and have a good day, but there's something left for you to be doing if you keep waking up.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if it's, just a testimony. I don't care what it is. Like, it's gone. Something's happening that you keep waking up, because you never know, who look at you like what.
I think this is gonna definitely change somebody's life, whether they listen to this in a month or they listen to this 5 years from now. Because this will be.
I hope so. I hope so.
Be around forever.
I wish that I knew how to really get into more of a mental health advocate kind of thing, like real level, like talk about your stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a place for everybody and everything. I don't know my calling. Maybe my calling might be, just share my experiences and stuff like that. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, God, he when they say he works in mysterious ways, you don't know what your calling is.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever you got going on, it might not be the plan. And I learned that the hard way because of my mental health issues. Like, I don't drive my car. God drives my car.
Yeah.
I'm just a passenger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if God want to make a left, let's go, God. Go ahead and make that left. Because I can't do nothing about it no way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Um, I'm humble. I still have my days where it's like, but with the tools that I learned,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, but it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, it will be.
I mean, just be cool. It's all right, not a big deal. A lot of our problems, whether it's life problems or mental health problems, if you don't die from that shit,
yeah,
it's just another opportunity for you to, keep going. I don't care if you have to crawl. I don't care what you get, as long as the movement is forward.
Yeah.
Because you will thank yourself later because you didn't stop.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very taboo thing to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think people will really they need to hear that type of shit because again, a lot of people going through it.
Yeah.
And whether it's shame or whatever, whatever, I don't know.
So you're actively in therapy now. But what was your thoughts on therapy before you actually started going? Like as a child or when you were younger, before you actually started seeking therapy, what were your thoughts about therapy before?
I was the same as everybody else. Like, therapy, y'all, you crazy. Look at these crazy people, you cuckoo. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, because when you don't go through it, you just, again, we all ignorant. So I'm like, all these crazy people going to therapy, you think you need therapy, you crazy,
Right.
And then when you go through it, you like, holy shit, like, am I crazy? You know what I'm saying? Like, you thinking like, damn, okay, here I am in a place, like literally sitting down across from somebody with a notepad, like talking about your whatever you're going through.
Right.
And but before that, it was it was a joke, it was a punchline.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We all laugh at stuff that, like, oh, look at that crazy nigga, but now it's like, I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to have these conversations, to let people know, just like you saying, it's okay to go to therapy,
Yeah. And then when you know better, you do better. And then you can teach your children to do better. If they're feeling a certain way or have these emotions and they don't know how to deal with them, it's okay to go to therapy or confide in someone, like you said before, Marlon, just a listening ear. Someone to listen. So when you know better, definitely do.
Here's how, if you need to talk or reach out or your thoughts ain't really clicking how you thinking they supposed to.
Yeah.
Man, like, look, there's nothing wrong with you. Sometimes you just need a little correction.
Yeah.
And don't be ashamed because you can't have that conversation with your friends.
Yeah.
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
It's a sad cycle that we don't talk about that as much as we need to.
Yeah.
They might not say it, they might not mention it, but man, people are really out.
Yeah. That's true. Especially with this pandemic, so many people are struggling because they scared of getting the virus, or they not used to not doing what they're used to doing. And some people aren't able to see their family and their friends. People have lost people, people are really going through it.
When you get up in age and because this is prime time, this is the bright lights are on this age group.
Yeah, that's true.
So whatever we gonna do, I think it's about time to do it because this is the third quarter. We just do the best we can what we got, and
that's true.
And like I say, just take every day as a blessing, and just try to be a better person. That's it.
Right. I was going to ask you any encouraging words for someone that may have difficulties with wanting to get help. I feel like you kind of covered that, but did you want to add anything else to that people might, get strength from? I
would say don't be scared to talk to someone. Just knowing that somebody is listening to you. If you can trust somebody, put that trust to a test. So don't be scared to communicate with people who you feel you trust. You know, even if you have those, you know, like outbursts of like emotion, like, man, if you need to cry, man, shit, cry. You know what I mean? Like, you know, get it out. If you need to take a long shower, man, take it. If you need to just play music, do it. I don't care what it is, man. Like, we all got something inside of us that can level us out. You know, and another thing, I don't know if everybody, you know, is all, you know, prayerful and, you know, like, I'm not like hyper religious and nothing like that, but I believe in God.
Mm-hmm.
If you can have a little faith and just, you know it's something out there protecting you.
Yeah.
Something out there. You might not understand it, but that's God in a nutshell. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like sometimes you don't have to understand something to let it work for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just do the best you can every day. Wake up, try to be positive, change it at the core, at the very core. Change it, man. Like, I swear, like, change your thinking. Say something positive in the morning. Hey, I'm beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I am loved.
Is there anything specific that you do to keep yourself positive when you wake up in the morning? Because I know me and Nicole, you know, well, I know myself personally, I do have daily affirmations. I put it in my room. I have a vision board. So it's hard to stay positive, even for just anybody. Yeah. So is there anything specific that you do that has
one thing that I do every day is I think about the day before.
Wow.
Think about the day before. Like that like whatever happened in a negative way, you got past it.
Yeah.
You got past it. You know what I'm saying? That's the past. It's a new day.
Yeah. I think you have to wake up every morning just expecting God to show up in your life. I know that's how I wake up.
Yeah,
every
like, I
morning
mean,
I'm expecting God to show up in some way in my life, whether it's something small, just me waking up, or it can be something big. But I definitely go through the day, you know, expecting His presence.
Completely trust God that when you let go, you'll still have the things that you need in your hand.
Yes.
That is a true word.
Yeah.
Let it go. You got to be brave to let shit go, because we're so used to
being in
what
control.
we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you gotta really say, you know what, God, you got me. Let me go ahead and just drop it.
Yeah.
And everything you lost, you're gonna get back tenfold if you trust it.
Oh
yes. Yeah.
You know, you don't and you don't lose anything that's meant for you anyway.
That is so true. And so many people don't know that, and they don't understand that. Because it's a few things that I'm gonna get ready and do, and I know the old me would have been so scared, but now I'm stepping out on faith.
You have to. Like, I think, like, sometimes we don't understand how important taking risk are. And get these things going in your life where, like, keep taking risks, keep taking risks, keep taking risks, keep diving off that cliff, keep diving, like, because what's gonna happen? What, you gonna fail? Ooh.
Right. But you know what? That just made me think when you said that about taking a risk. Just because they ain't doing right, that don't mean that I ain't gonna do right. And it was so much for the better, because that was a job and I gained a career. And that's when I got my bachelor's degree. Yeah.
You know, I think I live my life like that now. You know, like number one, being fearless. Be fearless. I don't care what you do, man. Like, look, what's the worst that can happen? The shit don't work.
Right. You won't
like, you know, ooh.
Right.
You know how many times you done failed in your life?
Yeah.
So, you know, like, failure ain't the objective, you know. Actually succeeding in something is like that's the feeling that you ain't too used to, but when you get it, it's like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you took that risk. Like if you feel stuck, man, just take a risk. Do something. The only reason you stuck is because you want to be there. Because we all got the ability to I mean, for all intents and purposes, a destruction. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to look at it in a different way. You can be like the greatest person ever. It's okay to be a good person, man. You're a good person. You do good stuff for people.
Self-love.
Ain't nobody love you as much as you love yourself.
You really do have to train your mind.
Yeah, to think a certain way.
Yeah, because your mind will go against your thoughts. And it's like a struggle.
It's
you gotta tell your man, like, this is what I am doing.
Yeah. Like it's a preconceived thing that we just, I don't know, or
it might.
Right.
It might be okay.
Yeah.
Like, what you mean it might be okay? No, I need to be okay.
Yeah, right. It's gonna be okay. Like, she's so good at that. Like me, I'll be like, oh, this and that. She'd be like, Nicole, it's gonna work. Because I be like, I want things right now. And I'm so impatient. And She'd be like, it's gonna work. It has to work. Yeah. And it's like, if you put in what you want to get out of it, it has no choice but to work.
Yeah.
It's like it's the equivalent of saying, go ahead, spit it out.
Mm-hmm.
Spit it out. Whatever you want to, whatever you want, spit it out. Man, pray big.
Yeah.
Yeah, because whatever you're praying, God has a bigger dream.
Yeah. Pray big. Pray in abundance.
Yeah.
Is what they say. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't give them no cheap pray. Give them something, give them something worthwhile.
Yeah.
Just imagine because he put that thought in you anyway.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So if you thinking big, he put it in there already. Now he like, okay, he thinking this, so let me go ahead and work on him for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when he get it, it's gonna be like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, forget about all the things that didn't work. Just anticipate things that's gonna work. That's why you got to keep your hands clean. You got to catch some blessings.
Mm-hmm. So we just want to thank you again, Marlon, for taking the time out to just be on our podcast, and you are welcome back anytime.
I appreciate that.
Sounds good. Thank you, Marlon.
So God bless y'all, and I will talk to y'all later.
So we want to thank Marlon again for just taking the time out to be with us today on our show. And we also want to just thank our listeners for all the positive support and the feedback that we've been getting on our Instagram and our Facebook. I just really want to say thank you all for just all of the positive support. We really do appreciate it. And if you want to be featured on our upcoming episode, please email us or contact us on Instagram at realconversations21 or email us at realconversations21@gmail.com.
So closing out today's episode, I want us to close out with a takeaway from Max Lucado. That is, be patient. God is using today's difficulties to strengthen you for tomorrow. He is equipping you. The God who makes things grow will help you bear fruit. Thank you so much for listening, everyone.
And this is Real Conversations with Sheeda and
Nikki. Bye.